over. Now, on to the content. So we will just dive straight in and see what Teddy Feezer has to say about uh
Your
oh,
boy RPG here,
it's
back
your
with another
boy.
epic broadcast for you all today. Hope everybody out there is having a merry one. Our featured stories for
His shirt says Fender Jaguar.
today's stream: number one, Elon Musk surrendering Twitter to the libs.
What?
Not a great development going on over there.
No.
Our second featured story: SPLC doxing La Fuentes Familia.
No. What? La Fuentes Familia. Is he trying to say the Fuentes family in Spanish? I think that would be La Familia Fuentes, right? You would say La Familia Fuentes. That's how they say it in Spanish because they say things backwards. Basically, in Mexico, they speak kind of like Yoda, but in Spanish.
Take a look at the latest from the SPLC. And then our third, well, not really a story, but so I actually went to go see Avatar 2, Way of the Water last night, and I wanted to share my experience with you all. I did briefly say on
You the man.
Twitter and Telegram last night that I actually took a particular
Maybe
liking to the film, which did generate a surprising amount of outrage. People were not all too crazy about my take on that. I thought it was good. What can I say? What can I say? You know, I went to the movies. I enjoyed the movie. And I know the problem is some people, they can never turn off.
dude, is he skinnier? Is it because of the syphilis? You know, see what I mean? This guy. I mean, I ain't no liver king over here. But this man, this manly man, and his size small, he ain't even filling up that size small. I mean, look at the cut. You can tell the size of the neck to the ratio of the seam on the shoulder. His neck isn't even filling up the small. There's room on the bicep of that small t-shirt. I couldn't get this t-shirt onto my body, personally. That one that he's wearing, it would not go on. It would rip. The seams would rip out if I tried to force it onto me. And I wouldn't be able to move. It would be like tighter than like you seen like a rash guard that they wear when they go surfing or whatever. That type of thing where it's supposed to be real form-fitting. This shirt wouldn't even do that. It would just rip apart. Not even just because of bulging muscles, which I do have a muscular physique. You can see my muscles when I flex them or whatever. But it's just like I'm a full-grown adult male. This guy, he has the physique of most of my ex-girlfriends, meaning that he looks like a runway model. I like him slender and petite. And I'm not trying to say that I'm physically attracted to this feminine man. I mean, he's got a beard, which kind of throws it off, but he does have something in his eyes, something. So there's a little bit of a sparkle. There's a little bit of a Camille Feezer in the look of these syphilitic eyes. But especially with, look at that. Look at the look on his face right there. It's kind of like that little come and get me look. Look at that. Look at this guy. He's all dressed up with the Santa hat on. Brrr, throw him down on the rug in front of that fire. Anyway, what I'm saying is, why is he so thin, though? Why is he so thin, though? Teddy, you not eating right? Is it the syphilis? Does it cause a digestive issue? Do you have trouble keeping weight on? Are you just emaciated? Do you have a wasting disease because of the syphilis? Does it cause like a nutrition Are you having trouble absorbing the nutrition from the food that you're eating, or are you skipping meals? Because you need to eat, Teddy. You need to eat plenty of protein. You need to have plenty of fiber in your diet. We did the John Rose thing the other day. He wants us to take a vacation from solid foods and just drink juice for a while. But you're only supposed to do that for a minute if you do that, just to help cleanse your gut. You're not supposed to stay on a liquid diet forever. You know? What are you eating over there? We need to fill that plate up. Teddy, we need to get you on some macro. We need to boost. You're looking like a guy who needs about minimum 3,000 calories to get you back up until we figure out what's going on.
The political portion of their brain. And now, I don't want to act like I don't partake in that myself. Obviously, when you're as political as we are, when you're as invested as we are in this stuff, that is just going to be like you're going to view media through. But there won't be any spoilers. There will not be a single spoiler. It's going to be a very general review. It's not going to be in depth or anything like that. No spoilers at all. But I thought it was excellent. I guess I'll talk about it right now and just get it out of the way. So, yeah, I wanted to see it because I wanted to be able to talk about it on stream. So I thought that maybe, some people did request that I go see it and give my personal take. So that is what I'm about to do. So generally speaking, I would say it is 5 stars out of 5. Okay, 5 stars out of 5. Now,
5 stars out of 5.
I give it 5 stars out of 5 is because I can't think of even a single reason. I can't think of a single critique. I think it was just...
It's 5 stars out of 5, and he can't think of a single critique of the new James Cameron, Canadian atheist James Cameron, made a new film that's over 3 hours long, and it's about white colonizers who came and attacked the indigenous blue saints on this perfect natural paradise land. He can't think of a single critique. That's interesting. So let's hear more. Let's go.
It was just truly enjoyable throughout, which is, I think, pretty impressive feat when you consider that the runtime for the film is 3 hours and 14 minutes. Okay, so for a movie to be 3 hours plus and still good, it's gotta hold your interest. It's gotta hold your attention. It's gotta have it's gotta have those payoff moments. It's gotta keep you engaged, and it did all that. It had excellent pacing. Excellent pacing. There was one part in the middle where...
It had excellent pacing. We love that in our films. We love when films have good pacing. That's the main thing about a film, is the pacing. Based.
Where I thought it was lulling a bit. I thought it was, maybe hanging a bit, but then I realized the reason why they spent kind of extra time on site at all, because I think it's better if you just go in fresh without knowing what to expect. But yeah, so there was a moment in the middle where I thought that maybe they were hung up on something for a little bit too long, but then I realized, oh, okay, the reason why they're doing that, it makes sense. It certainly is a critical element of the story, especially the...
What's this? Oh yeah, Avatar 2.
The conclusion of the story, but I thought it was really well done. Obviously, the CGI is fantastic, and the CGI was good back in 2009, 12, 13 years later. It's state of the art. It's incredible, and honestly, it's so good that there are certain objects in the film. There's a lot of machinery. There's a lot of military equipment. And you can't even distinguish, honestly, like at certain points, what is CGI and what isn't. Even when it comes to the Na'vi, that's the
CGI. Can we get some soy face in the chat for the CGI? The CGI is so good. Oh my god, like the graphics and Avatar 2, that's like you can't even tell what's not real. Spoiler alert, Teddy, it's all not real. It's a cartoon. You're watching, it's all CGI. The whole thing is CGI.
Name of the blue alien people, even when it comes to the Navi, I mean, obviously it's CGI, but it's uncanny. It's almost eerie how realistic it looks. The animation, the motion of the characters, it's very lifelike. It's very human. So obviously when it comes to the CGI, when it comes to animation, it's a 10 out of 10. It's a beautiful film. It's beautiful. The environments, the world building, it very, very similar to the first movie in that sense. And as far as it goes, compared to the first movie, there are a lot of similarities, So if you saw the first one, then you know what you're getting into with the second. And my biggest question going into it was like, why is there going to be a second Avatar movie? Is it something that's really needed? Is it something that's necessary? Why are they making 4 more of these? So that was my initial skepticism going into it. Was like I didn't feel like we needed more than Avatar 1. I thought that was a complete story that didn't really have too many loose ends. So I personally, I was not really, my expectations were pretty low. I wasn't expecting much. And
Dude,
I would say
this guy is blown away by this movie. This guy is stoked. He wasn't expecting too much. He's just like, he couldn't be more pleased. He's so pleasantly surprised, He went in not expecting too much. The other one was sort of like, whatever. But it was 3 hours of gold, and his mind was blown. It was just, he was touched. It changed his life, as far as I could tell. He can't stop talking about it.
Say that they were definitely exceeded. They were definitely
Big Mac says Ralph wouldn't change the goal. Yeah, he would actually. He sets a transformer goal, and then he sets an all-day fun. When you hit the first one, then it's on to the second one. But I don't have like a second one in mind, so that's what I'm asking. What's the next goal?
Exceeded, and it was really just a perfect movie. I'm not saying that it's the best movie of all time. Obviously, that's totally subjective, but I don't have a single critique. I know there's definitely going to be people out there who are going to, look at it through a political lens, and unfortunately, maybe that will sully it for them, or that'll ruin it for them. But what I'll say is, it is as political as the first movie. Which the point I'm making there is that I actually don't think it's
political?
Overtly, explicitly political at all. Of course, the themes, the undertones, of course it's there, if you want it to be. If you want it to, I'm not denying that, obviously, like I was having this discussion.
The undertones are there if you want it to be. Oh, it's not overtly, it's not in your face political. Like there's not like a black avatar, a black lesbian Na'vi who's like giving a speech about racism and equality or something. It's more subtle. And that's the way Feezer likes it. He likes it when the political message, the political subversion, the cultural subversion, he likes it when it's subliminal almost. When it's not overt. He doesn't, I take umbrage to overt subversion. When it's on the nose, when it ruins the movie, when it takes me out of the film that the character is such a symbol of cultural revolution, that's what bothers Feezer. But when it's subtle, when it's so subtle that you can almost say that it's imperceptible, when you know that it's there, but you really have to think about it to reveal the subversive nature of the film, when it's only there when you want it to be, he says, that's what he says is the acceptable form of cultural subversion. As long as it doesn't ruin the enjoyment of the product, it's fine. It's only when they sneak it into your mind without you even noticing it. Then it's a 5 out of 5 film. Of course they're going to have some cultural subversion. Of course they're going to be doing an anti-white narrative.
$3 reminder, this is the same Jew who talked crap about Nick for listening to rap and watching Goy Slop TV shows. Yep. Faker Feaster needs to stick to his principles.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, if it's on the surface, if it's problematic, that's a problem. You say that you're pro-white, but you listen to music from a man who's black? That doesn't work. Um, what? Wait a minute. But the music is really good, and the message is a red-pilled message, and it's uplifting, out of this world, genius level, cultural icon level, best in its class level, it's a whole other type of music. And the music is the music. Oh, but it's a black man making the music, so you're a walking contradiction because you're pro-white and listening to music from a black man. That's his analysis of Ye. But when you go to a movie created by a Canadian atheist, James Cameron, Canadian atheist, and the movie is not explicitly, but implicitly and intrinsically, when it's secretly, when it's sneakily, not on the surface, but under the surface, the undertone is anti-white, anti-American, anti-Western, anti-colonial, anti-colonizer, literally, basically, the exact message of the PO. It's a movie about POCs, blue people, people of color. It's a movie about these righteous, pure, angelic, nativist people of color battling the evil empire of white men. The greedy white colonizer, thirsty for their resources. And the noble, savage people of color, blue, fighting against them. RPG, Red Pill Gang. Loves that movie. 5 out of 5. Favorite movie.